it's a background, you know, like listening to a lot of different guitar players and being inspired from different guys. Like, you know, I love blues rock as much as I love shred guitar, for example. You know, and so all those influences, they reflect onto your thing. But the important things, I think, technique less or more, whatever, shred less or more. It's all about actually finding your own voice in music. You know,
of course, technique or finesse or whatever, as long as you can pick the right notes and make it sing.
That's the thing. Good to meet you.
Yeah, you as well. We haven't met, but I do have an incident at Grass Pop. It was as you joined Ozzy. You were hanging out with Zakk Wylde.
Yeah, that was 2 years ago.
Yeah, and I just happened to be like fly on the wall, like not there on purpose, just like drinking coffee, hanging out, and I'm listening to you and Zakk going off about all kinds of just like the most hilarious things.
Well, it was like, I went to catering and Zakk was already there having breakfast, and he was there with Black Label, and that day actually Ozzy canceled because he was sick. He got sick.
That was a bummer.
Yeah. But anyway, I saw him at catering, and you know, we started talking about he started telling me stories from the past, from his past tours with Ozzy and stuff, and just cracking up. It was great.
Dude, I was laughing. I'm not going to mention everything that I heard in that conversation, but it was great. So when it comes to getting an Ozzy gig, do you try out or?
I got an email from somebody from the management. So we're like, well, we're thinking of you for the guitar player position. Would you be interested in auditioning and stuff? I'm not much of a drinker, but I had to have 3 shots of whiskey, like bang, 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 just to calm down, because my heart was gonna explode. And then I replied like, yes, I will do that.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I didn't know how it was gonna be like, because when you're growing up, you're reading the guitar magazines, you read about all these auditions and stuff, and you think you're gonna show up and there's gonna be like a line of guitar players around the block waiting to, you get in there, you have 5 minutes to show your thing. I thought it was going to be something like that.
Yeah.
But it actually was, it was just me hanging out there with Tommy and Blasco. We jammed, we went through the songs for a couple of hours before Ozzy came in. And he came in and he was super cool, man, and we just jammed, we played 6 songs. I remember the first thing he said to me after we finished, he turned around and said, "You're great, man." And then Sharon said, "Would you like to come back and do a show with us?" And I swear, man, that was the best day of my life.
What was the first show that you did with Ozzy?
It was BlizzCon, the convention thing.
Convention thing?
I remember it was broadcast everywhere on
I'm
DirecTV and everywhere in the world, so no big deal,
Yeah.
It was like, does the whole world have to watch? But it was great for what it was back then, and then I came back to do another show, and before I knew it, we were doing the new record,
Yeah.
Crazy
That's
times.
That's very crazy, man.
Yeah. I'm one whole step down.
Oh, are you?
So, well, I guess another common thing that we got is
We're
our guitars.
ESPs, dude. We're all about, the ESP family.
brothers, yep.
Yeah, is this a custom or a signature?
This is a custom shop. Yeah, it's a variation of my signature guitars, which we haven't put it out yet, but I had them in different colors over the years, but then I said to them, I want a matte black guitar with no binding, and then actually this morning when I walked in, I saw yours. I thought,
you have
black binding.
I have gloss black binding on mine, which that's the difference between my signature that we did release already.
What was it? Was
It's all matte black. The only difference between this and this that makes this a custom is it's a 26.5-inch scale, and it's got gloss black binding, and this just holds the lower tuning for me.
No, it looks rad, man. It's pretty cool.
I'm a fan. I like your guitar a lot too.
Cool,
man.
thanks. This was I wanted to get a bit more of a gothic vibe to my guitars as well, because like I said, it's first matte black guitar, no binding. I thought the white pickups might look cool.
Is that a kill switch?
This, when I used to play passive pickups, it was like a coil splitter, but then when I switched to active, then we made this a kill switch.
Okay.
Which I have an interesting story for you with that, because it's cool to do like effects like, it's cool for that, but we were playing a festival in Norway with Ozzy, and so we go out there, we start with Bark at the Moon and stuff, and then there's like no sound. It was like, show stops like right away. Then the guitar tech starts running up and down. It's like unplugs all my pedal boards, all the stuff, plugs straight into the amp, no sound. I'm like, oh my God, what's happening? And then all of a sudden I go like, fuck. Oh, that's what it was.
And then did you try and hide it like you?
Yes, I scream at the tech.
All
what
right,
the f are you doing, man?
Totally
What?
your fault.
Let's go, boss. Let's go. Yeah, stroll again. Yeah.
I've definitely done that just because I do the same kind of thing where.
You have 2 volumes there.
Yeah, so like if I wanted to.
Right. Right.
So I always mess around with just weird feedback usually in the middle of sets and like, then I'll mess up and just leave it and try and drop in, just like,
And nothing.
totally, oh yeah, try and look cool.
Or you'll try to do like a solo maybe on the neck position and then you're like, yeah, nothing.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my, that's the worst. God, that's
Yes,
the worst.
Yeah, so I see you got a 7-string there. I mean, I never really had a 7-string guitar. When did you get into 7 strings?
The 7-string didn't really come into my main repertoire of guitars until I joined Suicide Silence in 2005, and I had to look at it differently. Everything's so low, and I have to learn to play things more percussively. Like,
It does make you a better rhythm guitar
more
player,
on the
I guess,
right
yeah?
hand, you know.
Yeah.
But really, when it comes down to it, playing a 6-string, I just follow along. But the extra low is literally just for heaviness and chunk and rhythm. So there's the low A all the time. You know, so it just adds a little more range in my low end. And with what Suicide Silence does, the 7-string is totally our chunk, and we
No,
rely
you guys
on
are
it
playing
a
like
lot.
bitching heavy, slow
Yo,
tuning it. Yeah, yeah.
it's not the classic 6-string approach to the guitar. It's definitely more. I look at it a lot differently.
Does it change the way you come up with riffs? I bet it does. I mean,
Well, how I would come. I
so
look at.
if you the riff would be like, is it if you make more like fourths and stuff or fifths?
I usually sit around there with the A.
Yeah.
But also with Suicide Silence, I'm sticking around A sharp a lot. Like I'm sitting. It's very cliche. It's what I get all the time. It's all opens and ones, and I'm always in the same low register. When I joined the band, I wasn't into the low stuff, and I had to adapt and figure out how to imaginatively, like, think the way I was gonna. What did I want my riff to sound like? I wanted to give me that ambiance, that low.
Changes your attitude towards that. Yeah.
Exactly. It's a 6-string guitar with that extra punch, that extra
Yeah.
just fun chunk and low end.
For me, it always confused. Like I lost all the scales that I learned. I was like, oh, now I forgot. Looking at that 7th string, I was like, now I forget everything.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, let's stick to the 6 strings.
You're always in standard tuning?
No, I'm actually tuned 1 whole step down. So this is like a D.
Is it standard D?
Yeah, like this like all the whole guitar would be tuned 1 whole step.
Okay,
so D,
yeah.
this would be like a A. This is a F.
Yeah.
C, G, yeah, D.
Yep. That's always it.
So it sounds a bit heavier, but it doesn't. I mean, I used to play in a death metal band called Night Rage, and we used to tune down to C, and that was very cool and heavy. But then you would miss all the high notes for the soloing. Yeah.
I think that low D is one of my favorites.
Sometimes I do like the low 4th, like if I'm down here. I put like a low 4th under it, just to sound a bit heavier. But then that's like you. That's like for you. That's like a bass string though, the A. So that's like,
Yeah, I mean, dude, we call it the bloody chord, where we're doing. You know, that's the bloody chord. That's like what, like a drop 5th, or because that's basically just going. Yeah, the bloody chord, man.
bloody chord. It's like you play stuff and blood comes out.
That's what we want. You know, we would like to just be bleeding out of our eyes while we're playing, just because we're
Right,
brutal.
right.
But
You need a lot of Band-Aids afterwards.
some bandits wrapped in gauze.
So I was in Greece when I heard I read online that Mitch had passed away. And I was like, wow, what happened there, you know?
Right.
And I remember that first night when all the fans gathered outside his house, and what a terrible loss, man. You know?
Yeah, that was, I mean, it was brutal. I mean, I was at home, and that was Halloween night, and the worst thing about that was we had already, you know, written some new music.
Yeah.
And we were going to do vocals on some demos that we had the very next day.
Right.
So I was at home. I wasn't doing anything that Halloween night. I was just taking it easy, going to go to the studio the next day, and that's when I found out. So that was really brutal for me. As far as us as a group of dudes, you know, I joined the band when I was 17, joining a garage band. Like, we're still those kids.
Yeah.
We've never really lost that love just for jamming and whatnot. And I think just everything being so tragic, I'm so proud of all of us for coming around and just and not letting that ruin us, you know.
No, and I mean, and music is also a gateway to, you know, to let your feelings out, and also, you know, to I think you guys doing the right thing. You know, it's you know, you're turning to music to express yourselves, to, you know, what to guide you through, actually lead you out of what you guys went through.
Yep, that's exactly what we did. I mean, and you'll hear it in the record. The record is fresh. Just got a little.
I'm sure Mitch would love to have liked you guys to continue as well, keep making music. You know?
That's a common thing we always are saying. It's just like, Mitch would freak out if he heard this right now.
Yeah.
Well, you play for Ozzy.
That's the Bible of heavy metal.
Oh, man.
So every song is a classic on that set list.
I like to play things that are either flashy or simply flashy.